Okay, so as we continue to get deeper into the offseason, it's seeming like this Eagles duo could be poised to make a big impact in 2024. As after coming into the league together just a year ago, these two promising young players look like they're both ready to take the next steps in their game respectively, and it could be scary for NFL offenses, so let's break it all down. Plus, the Eagles are hard at work during summer break as Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, and others are training hard together ahead of the start of Eagles training camp, so why is this so important? And also, there are multiple Eagles players that seem like they could be ready to take a leap in their game in 2024, while Jalen Hurts just cannot seem to catch a break as he was recently ripped once again by the media. So let's talk about all that and all the other latest Eagles news. And we won't waste any time, let's get straight into it. Alright, so let's start off with some very interesting medical news, being that Rothman Orthopedic Institute has ended its 20-year-long relationship with the Philadelphia Eagles over the Chris Maragos lawsuit and future malpractice risk. Which, if you're unfamiliar with the whole situation, Chris Maragos, who was a former special teams captain and Pro Bowler for the Eagles, sued his doctors over the handling of his knee injury that ultimately ended up ending his career early, as he was awarded $43.5 million in February of 2023, with Rothman being held 33% liable due to the fact that, although they didn't perform the surgery, they oversaw Maragos' treatment and rehab, and they apparently missed some crucial details that ended up being costly for Maragos' knee and his NFL career. So, long story short, the relationship between Rothman Orthopedics and the Eagles is over, but rest assured, the Eagles will continue to have medical care and will find a new partner soon, probably with Penn Medicine, as the Birds' VP of medical care is employed by them. But now, just getting back to more football-related things, right now, it's the offseason, it's summer break, so teams aren't together working or practicing, but players are rather working hard individually or with other players to prepare for the season. And one great example of players working with each other is what the tight ends are doing, with many of the league's best, including Dallas Goedert, getting together at Travis Kelce, George Kittle, and Greg Olsen's yearly 3-day camp called Tight End University. And this got Eagles star wide receiver A.J. Brown thinking, as he seemed to propose his own idea to start a wide receiver university or something like that, as he put out a tweet saying, quote, "Wideouts, what's up? The tight ends get together for a weekend, the DBs link up, the pass rushers even get together. Come on guys, we can't be too big time to link up and learn. I'm a fan of everyone and willing to work with whoever. Let's make it happen, wideouts." And AJ really does have a great point. I mean, if the tight ends and other positions are doing this, then why aren't the wide receivers? And AJ's proposal has already got a bit of attention, with Dolphins star wide receiver Tyreek Hill replying saying, "Let's go bro," and Darius Slay saying, "Yes sir, get them boys together man." And now, a few days later, it seems like this could actually happen, with AJ replying to LaShawn McCoy's tweet supporting the idea, saying, quote, "Wide receiver U coming 2025. So overall, even if this doesn't happen this year, I think it's awesome and it's going to benefit a lot of the league's wide receivers if this is in fact something that starts next year, and I personally cannot wait for it. And also, it's just so cool that AJ is the one who's starting this, and I think it's just another example of him being a truly phenomenal leader. I mean, it just baffles me how the Philly media was trying to paint this guy as selfish and a diva when he consistently does things like this. I mean, it's just crazy to me. Now, fortunately, it seems like the Philly media has chilled out on AJ a little bit, but unfortunately, it seems like they've now switched to targeting Jalen Hurts. As in addition to the ridiculous claims that Hurts is all of a sudden beefing with Nick Sirianni, all based off of a less than noteworthy answer from Hurts in a press conference that I just think was read into way too much, we now have longtime Philly sports reporter Howard Eskin ripping Jalen on WIP, accusing him of making excuses and giving an absolutely insane take on Jalen's future with the Eagles.
Here's what I found out when I started to check into this further. When he said the offense is 95% different, new, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's 20% different. It's not 95%. It's only about 20%. I found that out from multiple people. It's only about 20%.
So why do you think he said that?
To make an excuse. The offense is Kellen Moore's. It's not Nick Sirianni's. It's Kellen Moore's offense. And we already know it. Nick Sirianni is a very good coach. I know there's people that don't, and Joe, you're probably one of them, that don't want to believe that. The players respect him. Maybe Jalen has some questions, but it's not the head coach. If you're worried about the offense, then it's Kellen Moore. And he gets along with Kellen Moore. So, you know, what are you trying to do? It's just, he better have a good year. And I think he'll have a better year, but I think he needs to have a good year, or they're going to Carson Wentz him. If he doesn't have a good year.
Where do I even start? I mean, first off, Jalen didn't even have that bad of a year last year. I think that's honestly a way overblown narrative. I mean, the guy was leading the MVP odds through the first 12 or so weeks of the season, and he made the Pro Bowl, and there's just no chance that he's going anywhere. I mean, he has a no trade clause in his contract, and I just don't see him possibly playing bad enough for them to even consider moving on from him. Plus, that whole statement about the offense that he made being 95% different was definitely taken out of context, as he wasn't necessarily necessarily referring to the offense as a whole being 95% different. He was most likely just talking about things like coaching points on specific plays and situations, maybe some reads and progressions on the plays, things happening pre-snap, the language of the plays in the offense, and the play caller itself. All that on top of some limited changes to the actual offense itself. I mean, Jalen even provided context while giving his answer, as he alluded to those things a bit after making that 95% comment. And I just don't think he said that to make an excuse either, like Eskin said, because when has Jalen ever made excuses in the past? I seriously cannot think of a time when he's done that. So overall, I personally don't have a problem with Eskin, but I just don't understand why him and the Philly media are now seemingly coming after Jalen Hurts. It just honestly makes no sense to me, but what do you guys think? Now, something that probably doesn't quite fit into the media's current narrative of Jalen Hurts is what he's been doing recently, as some new photos reveal that he's been working hard during summer break alongside some of the Eagles' other offensive players, including some of the new wide receivers in rookie Johnny Wilson and the potential wide receiver 3 in Paris Campbell. Also, Saquon Barkley was there working with rookie running back Will Shipley, and of course, Jalen and Saquon are there together working hard, and they've apparently done this multiple times as they've been working together throughout summer break. So overall, I just think this is awesome for a number of reasons. One being that it just shows the leadership of both Hurts and Barkley, as they're clearly making sure that they're there to help out the young guys. And also, it's just awesome that Hurts is focused on growing his chemistry with some of these guys, including Barkley, as that duo clearly fits together great on paper, as defenses are going to have to account for both of them out of the backfield, and also with Saquon being a great receiving back. But if they develop good chemistry and get it down early, that only gives them an extra leg up on defenses. So overall, I love that these guys are getting extra work in together during the offseason, as I think it puts their leadership on display, as well as just showing how motivated they are. And I just honestly cannot wait to watch this duo this season. And someone else who I can't wait to watch this season is the second-year defensive tackle Jalen Carter. So after having a solid rookie season where he started off hot and was really good for the first half of the year, but then hit the rookie wall and then fell off, I really do think that Carter is going to have a full-blown breakout year where he makes the Pro Bowl this season. And I even think that there's a chance that he could maybe even get 10 sacks or more. And the Eagles are definitely going to be relying on Carter getting more production this year with Fletcher Cox retiring, and this was outlined in a recent article from the Philly Voice where they listed Carter as one of the 5 players the Eagles need to have step up this year, with writer Jimmy Kemsky saying, quote, "Carter had a stellar first 3 months of his rookie season in 2023, and he was at one time a heavy favorite to win NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year honors. However, his production fell off down the stretch, and he was passed by the Texans' Will Anderson for that award. He finished with 33 tackles, 6 sacks, and 2 forced fumbles. Including the playoffs, Carter played 600 snaps, which was less than half of the team's 1,232 total defensive snaps. Similarly, Fletcher Cox played fewer than half the defensive snaps in his rookie season, but in year 2, his snap counts rose dramatically and stayed high the rest of his career. Then they went on to list Fletcher Cox snap counts by year, listing 2012 as 509, 2013 as 946, 2014 as 926, 2015 as 983, 2016 has 773, 2017 was 733, 2018 with 926, 2019 with 869, 2020 with 746, 2021 with 807, 2022 with 810, and 2023 with 722. And then they went on to say, quote, "In addition to being a great player for more than a decade, Cox was kind of an Iron Man. The Eagles are going to need Carter to be prepared to log Cox-like snaps." Now, the fact that new Eagles defensive line coach Clint Hurt has placed a really heavy emphasis on getting his guys in the best shape of their career is definitely a great thing, because it's going to have Carter and the other guys ready to play a higher snap count and not run out of juice down the stretch run of a long season. And for Carter, if he can handle a higher workload and not run out of gas, there is no question in my mind that he's going to have a great season and be a truly dominant force on the interior of the Eagles defensive line. And it seems like his former Georgia and now Eagles teammate Nolan Smith also believes that, as he recently spoke on Carter and praised his season last year while also looking to the future.
Man, they realized that he one of them dogs and he explosive, and he started to get the slide when they picked that up, because they was giving him one-on-ones, and I was watching him and I say, hey, if we ever get the man side together, you know, we work games. And man, I just love my dog, but man, once they start realizing, oh, we got to slide to that man, mama, that's that man.
So I just love to hear Nolan praise his teammate like that, and I'm also really excited to see what Nolan is able to do this year, as the second-year man really didn't have much of a role on the defense last season after being a first-round pick, but when he was on the field, he definitely flashed and showed some ability, which makes you think that in a bigger role, Nolan could potentially take a leap in his development and actually make a real impact on the defense. And writer John Snellness of Bleeding Green Nation made the case for Nolan doing just that by including him in a list of 4 Eagles that are most likely to make the leap in 2024, saying, quote, "Taken at number 30 overall last year, Smith surprisingly barely played, even at the end of the season when it was clear no one had any idea how to stop the bleeding. In the team's first 10 games, the most snaps Smith played was 9. One could easily forget he was even on the team, and had he played more, perhaps Josh Sweat could have gotten some more rest and wouldn't have deteriorated down the stretch. He averaged just 11 snaps per game, a criminally low number for a healthy first-round pick at a position the team was struggling to get production from. Smith received the most reps in the playoff loss to Tampa and actually put some numbers up on the stat sheet with half a sack and 4 tackles in 16 snaps, along with the QB hit. He was the second highest graded Eagles edge rusher in that game, so it's a bit maddening that he wasn't given more of an opportunity last season. We know the Eagles coaching staff was incompetent last year, and this is just another indication of that. This year, one can assume Fangio will be looking to use the speed rushing defensive end the way he should be used. So I definitely agree with that. I mean, like the article said, it was frustrating to see Smith get almost no snaps, especially due to the fact that he showed some promise when he did play, and the Eagles' other edge rushers were clearly running out of juice down the stretch. But the coaching staff last year was incompetent, and Vic Fangio definitely should not make the same mistakes that they did, as even if the Birds do have 3 other edge rushers that are going to get considerable playing time, Nolan should actually have a legitimate role on the defense this year, and there's a good chance that he makes a noticeable impact. And one thing that makes me confident in that, besides the flashes last year, is that he seems confident in himself.
Trying to help the team any way I can, still be that juice, that energy guy, always picking people up, and just really, I can't climb with my brother falling, like JD said. So I'm just here just to learn, fly around, and I feel like this that year I turned the corner, just me, and just watching the game and just studying.
Overall, while I don't think that Nolan is going to have his true breakout season just yet, I do think he's going to take a big leap in his development and be much better than last year, and alongside Jalen Carter, both of them will improve a ton from their rookie seasons, and that duo should be scary for NFL offenses, as these two young guys have a lot of talent and potential and could wreak havoc on offensive lines not just this year, but for years to come. But what do you guys think? Just how successful will the duo of Smith and Carter be in 2024? But now getting back to that list of the 4 Eagles players that are likely to take the leap in 2024, I want to look at the other 3 guys, with one of them being linebacker Zack Baun, with the article outlining his apparent overtaking of Nakobe Dean's starting spot and his impressive showing during the Birds spring practices, as well as Vic Fangio's apparent confidence in him as reasons for why he could make a jump. Then you got cornerback Kelee Ringo, who's one of the absolute standouts of spring practices, and many, including myself, think he could definitely compete for a starting job this year. And the article pretty much said those same things, being that Ringo looks sticky in coverage during OTAs and minicamp, and he has the tools to be a very good corner. And then the last guy they listed was right guard Tyler Steen, and they cited the fact that Steen will now slide into the starting right guard spot after the retirement of Jason Kelce and Cam Jurgens moving to center, and that Steen also has all the physical tools to be great, and Jeff Stoutland has a lot of confidence in him. So overall, I think all these players could very well make a leap forward in their games if given the opportunity, but what do you guys think? Now, I'm going to be continuing to cover the Eagles throughout the rest of the entire offseason and then heading into training camp and also the regular season. So if you don't want to miss any of that, make sure you subscribe, and also really importantly, turn on notifications so you are notified instantly when one of these videos is uploaded. And also, while you're at it, make sure you drop a like to show some support. I'd greatly appreciate it. It helps me out a ton. And also, you can leave a comment down below just regarding anything that I talked about in this video. And if you want to watch another Eagles video going over how Saquon Barkley could transform the Eagles offense and take it to the next level, then you can check this out right here. Now, with all that being said, that's pretty much all I got for this one, guys. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.